So tell us about Venus in The Magician's Nephew.
Yeah, if you look at Venus in the night sky, Venus is very visible both in the morning and in the evening. She's known as the morning star at dawn and as the evening star at dusk, sometimes the western star, sometimes as Hesperus. The Greek word for west is Hesperus. And in mythology, that gave rise to the garden of the Hesperides, a garden full of immortality-giving apple trees. And Venus, because of her great beauty, I mean, she is really staggeringly beautiful. I mean, in the Bible, the morning star is used as an image of Jesus Christ. 2 or 3 times in the New Testament, that image is used of Christ. And in mythology, Greek mythology in particular, Venus became, or Aphrodite, as she was known to the Greeks, was the archetype of beauty. And because most mythologizers and most astronomers were male, the archetypal beauty was obviously associated with the female, with the thing that was most desirable to them. And by a long process of accumulation of various different qualities and attributes, she became the goddess of fertility, creativity, as well as beauty. And in addition to those qualities, was associated with sweetness and laughter, and really all beautiful qualities. She was sometimes called Fortuna Minor. She was, if you like, she was the second best planet. Fortuna Major was Jupiter, Fortuna Minor was Venus. Now, when C.S. Lewis wanted to write a story in which Venus was kind of the inner meaning, he drew on all these qualities, but in particular 3. Let's just focus on 3. First of all, creativity. The Magician's Nephew is the story where Narnia is created. It's the birth story of Narnia, if you like. Aslan sings Narnia into being in this beautiful
creation, Genesis.
Yes, it's a kind of Genesis retelling, but done by means of Venus imagery, with a lot of emphasis upon sweetness and beauty and laughter. I mean, that rather humorous episode with the perky jackdaw who makes the first joke. Yeah. And that's because Venus the laughing, Aphrodite the smiling, the laughing, that was how Homer always referred to Aphrodite in the Iliad.
The mass of the people are perfectly right when they insist that Venus is a partly comic spirit. So
the creativity and the laughter is there. There are 2 other major things, though, too. One has to do with Diggory's mother. If you look at in Lewis's other works, nearly always when he's referring to Venus, he will sooner or later mention mothers, motherliness, motherhood, the maternal. And so Diggory's mother, with a capital M, she's a significant part of this story, even though she actually appears only in the final chapter. But she's dying throughout the story. And Diggory is very concerned at the prospect of losing her. That fear that he has that he might lose his mother is the main driving dynamic, really, of the plot. Yes, and so when he discovers this young land of Narnia, the land of youth, and thinks that there might be, life-giving fruit there, he's very excited, and so that's how Diggory's mother's life is saved with a life-giving apple which he plucks from the garden in the west. This is Lewis's retelling of the garden of the Hesperides. Diggory brings that apple back, and his mother recovers from her sickness. So both the apple and the mother are further ways in which Lewis is involving this Venus imagery. And then there's a more sinister aspect to Venus's qualities as well. In addition to all these beautiful, happy, sweet, life-giving qualities, there was a kind of shadow side to Venus. She was called Venus Infernal. And Lewis writes about Venus Infernal in a lot of his other works. It's Venus Infernal that he's trying to depict in the character of Jadis. Jadis, the evil witch from Charn, And you can tell that she's the shadow side of Venus, because just as the true Venus brings life to everything, the shadow side of Venus, Jadis that is, brings death to everything. And she utters the deplorable word that brings death to absolutely every living thing in her city of charm, so that there's not even any weeds growing in the cracks of the pavement. It's just an utterly dead place. But she's also incredibly beautiful and attractive, and has this really kind of potent attractiveness about her, which Uncle Diggory really falls for, and he's always referring to that damn fine woman, absolutely slobbering over her. And that's a further indication of the bad qualities of Venus, that she becomes kind of addictive. So the way Lewis structured The Magician's Nephew out of all these different venereal qualities is very skillful, I think. And he had some difficulty finding the right shape for the story, partly because of the sexual side of Venus. He wasn't quite sure how to get that aspect of Venus into a story which was designed for children. And the nearest he comes to it, really, I think, is in the way that Uncle Diggory fawns over Jadis.
And also how he matches up the animals 2 by 2.
Well, that's true, yes. The way that Aslan goes amongst the animals, matching them up 2 by 2, a male and a female of each species, and kind of encourages the prospect of going forth and multiplying.
In a child-friendly way.
Yes, in a child-friendly way, yes. So Aslan sums up in his own person all the best qualities of Venus. He's creative, he's beautiful, he's sweet, he encourages the gift of laughter, and he also urges the newly created animals to propagate themselves and make love. Love is the first command that he gives to the newly awakened Narnian country. He says, Narnia, awake, love. That's the first thing that he says. And Venus is the planet of love, if you look in Lewis's other works.